Wayne Draper was persistent, driven, and just lived and breathed motor racing, muscle cars, and Aussie Ford culture. My name's Rob Draper. I'm a screenwriter, a film producer, the son of Wayne Draper, a Ford designer, and I'm the custodian of the HO nameplate. He started at Ford in 1970, hired by Bill Burke, and like all the designers, Dad was obsessed with the GTHOs. He got offered to design the XD Group C race car for the new regulations for Alan Moffat, but Ford dropped out of motor racing after being humiliated by Brock in '79. And he couldn't bear the thought of there being no Fords on the grid at Bathurst. And he pursued it in secret in the backyards of Broadmeadows with some factory workers and modellers in the design studio and homologated the car under the cover of darkness. It was a after-hours passion project. Most of the late 80s, 90s, noughties, no one cared about XDs and Es. But he always just had a feeling they were going to come back. And he got diagnosed with cancer. He knew he had one more build in him, and he decided to make it the XE Phase 6 Falcon. So underneath, it's really the baseline HO Phase 6. It's got 18 by 9s on the front, 18 by 12.5 on the rear, HO Phase 6 flare kit. The paint was Monza red with a percentage of fluoro in it. 351 Cleveland, Holly Carbs, T5, standard brake package. You might notice the side mirrors are XF. It was kind of his way of putting the car together exactly how he wanted it at the time. He also designed the snowflakes, and I guess those snowflakes are his last legacy that he gave everyone. And I don't know if there's a better wheel for your Falcon out there. They look amazing. That car was put together in record time for a Phase 6 build. It was rushed because Dad was going downhill pretty quickly. And I want to credit the guys who built that car, who were able to put it together, put it onto a trailer, drive it up to the front of the house, wheel Dad out onto the balcony, started it up for him, and he was ready to go. Then, he was happy. He left a legacy behind. I think that's what he really wanted. T5, I think, is a pretty great box. The track on the front, it really points in. The handling's fantastic. I'd like to stiffen it up a little bit, actually, but that's how XEs were. It handles really nice, turns on a dime. There's a lot of rubber on the tarmac. It's unbelievable when you drive this thing around. The people that stop you, people that you'd expect would stop you, but people that you just never expect are just in awe of this car, and they know what it is. They may not know the history of HO and Phase Autos, but they certainly remember the race car. They remember Dick Johnson, they remember Murray, they remember watching it on telly. And it turns heads. It really seriously turns heads. Am I driven? I am. I'm as passionate about movies and TV series as he is about cars. And cars is a close second for me. And when he passed away, I had to keep things going. In fact, it's possibly bigger than it's ever been. We do 2 to 3 builds a year, send out 20-odd full body kits. I didn't just inherit a business, I inherited a legacy of Aussie car culture. And this Phase 6 XE HO Falcon is the godfather of that era as far as I'm concerned. And it's one of the more known Falcons in the country. I'm obsessed with the experience, and sitting behind the wheel of that motor car, it's just the funnest thing. I bet people have looked at the Dick Johnson story and thought, well, there's nothing you can't really see on YouTube. And there are a lot of docos out there about The Rock and the rise of Dick Johnson. But I think they haven't had the angle about the monumental grit Aussie battler story that was taking place in Broadmeadows. At its heart is my dad's story, and I've spent 3 years developing this TV series because I really believe there's no one better to do it than me.